Welcome back, paranormal fans. This week we're discussing the Stanley Hotel, inspiration for Stephen King's The Shining. We'll also be discussing our thoughts on the movie Annabelle Creation. Grab a snack, cuddle up, and join us.
One of the most recognizable hotels in America and the inspiration for Stephen King, The Shining, the Stanley Hotel history is just as interesting as one could hope to be. When investor Freeland Stanley and his wife Flora took a trip to Colorado in hope that the fresh air would help ease Freeland's tuberculosis, which it did, they did not expect to fall in love with the beautiful vistas of the state offered and the less sophisticated lifestyle that they were used to living within the East Coast society that they were part of. However, in 1903, they purchased a parcel of the property in Estes Park and planned to put a grand hotel worthy of the beautiful surroundings of the spot. In 1909, the Stanley Hotel would open. It would offer electric lights, telephones, motor vehicles, and an in-suite bathroom with running water. The first guests to arrive in the Stanley's motor-powered automobiles, no less, arrived in style to the Grand Hotel in its quaint little village that surpassed even what they would expect back east. By 1917, Estes Valley would see a town bloom inside of it, complete with waterworks, power plants, and other civic organizations, all in some ways due to the Stanleys. The years would not be kind to the Stanley Hotel, however, and by the time the 1970s comes around, the hotel was dilapidated and grungy. It would be struck of luck for the hotel when Stephen King would check in. King and his wife would stay one night as sole guests, and the world would forever know about the strange experiences and horrors that haunted the halls of the once Grand Hotel. Thanks to the stroke of luck, the Stanley Hotel saw people clamoring to visit, and the funds would allow the hotel to be restored to its former glories, once more a place where even the most posh of guests would not look to or feel out of place.
Horror fans, paranormal investigators, skeptics, and those who just hold a curiosity to see the beauty offered by the area, conveniently located an hour outside of Denver, have flocked to the hotel for years to find out exactly what King experienced with a single night stay that would inspire him to write one of his best-known novels. The Stanley does not disappoint in hauntings, apparitions, and horror stories that haunt its 112-year-old hallways. The most notable apparitions are that of Stanley and his wife. Stanley can be seen at the bar, and Flora has been known to sit at the piano and fill the hotel with cheerful music. The most famous rooms to stay in is 217, also known as the King Room, said to be haunted by Mrs. Elizabeth Wilson, former head housekeeper of the Stanley Hotel, who suffered an electrocution during a thunderstorm while lighting the lamps in the room. Though she survived the ordeal, she suffered some minor injuries. Her spirit is quite active in the room. Guests have experienced their luggage unpacked, items moved about, and the lights turning on and off on their own. Unmarried guests visiting with their significant other have reported feeling a cool force between them while in bed.
That's funny.
Right?
She's very proper.
Very. Enjoying what you've heard so far? Be sure you never miss an episode by following us. Thank you for your support. Now back to the show.
During the filming of Dumb and Dumber, Jim Carrey was staying in this room, and in the middle of the night, he went to the front desk and asked to be moved immediately to a new room. The hotel was booked full, and instead of returning to his room for the night, Carrey packed his bags and went to another hotel that night. To this day, Carrey refuses to say what spooked him so badly. One of the biggest myths about this room is that it is never available. This is not true. We did look, and there is availability, though it is booked far out, and some planning is required if you must have this room. There is a 2-night stay minimum.
Wow, that's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it was like January, I think, is when it finally opened
January.
up. Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
There's like random days here and there, but they require a 2-night stay.
Nice
So
day, yes. So I guess that's one of their busiest and most requested rooms.
Right?
But I do wonder what Jim Carrey experienced now that it spooked him enough not to even mention it at all.
Right?
Makes me really want to know what happened with him.
I do too.
Okay, so the entire 4th floor is home to the spirits of children whose laughter and footfalls can be heard racing up and down the hallways. In the beginning, the 4th floor was an attic space where the female employees, children, and their nannies lived. Room 401 houses the famous closet that is known for opening and closing on its own. The 4th Earl of Dunraven, a former owner of the land that the Stanley inhabits, resides in room 407, where he has been seen standing in the corner of the room and leaves the aroma of pipe tobacco in the air. Room 428 boasts a friendly cowboy who is often seen standing at the corner of the bed, and the sounds of objects being moved around and footsteps overhead, though it would be impossible for anyone to be above you in this room due to the slope of the roof. The grand staircase is an impressive glimpse into the elegance of the past with its antique mirrors and portraits from long ago. However, the decorations are not the only things left over from the past. A ghostly woman has been photographed standing at the top of the stairway. The concert hall is one of the most haunted locations within the hotel. Paul, a former employee, is believed to be the voice behind the "Get Out" that guests and employees have heard uttered in the hall late at night. One of Paul's duties was enforcing the 11 p.m. curfew at the hotel. Paul has also flickered flashlights for guests participating in the tours, and a worker was nudged by Paul while he was sanding the floors in the hall. Lucy is also said to haunt the hall, believed to have been a runaway or a homeless woman who sought refuge at the hotel. She has been heard humming and is very receptive to ghost hunters, often providing them with evidence that they actually ask for. Finally, the underground cave system used in the old days by the hotel staff to flit about the property is said to be haunted. The smell of home cooking lingers in the tunnels with no apparent source. This is believed to be due to a chef who previously worked at the hotel. Another ghostly visitor is that of a grey cat with bright glowing green eyes. The Stanley Hotel is an American landmark and a popular destination for paranormal skeptics and believers. Guests and non-guests alike can take advantage of historical and haunted tours of the hotel. Would you stay at the night at the Stanley Hotel? Which room would you want to stay in?
I would love to stay there.
Yes, I would too.
Me too. So far, from everything that I've read, there weren't any violent ghosts at all. I think I'd want to stay in room, 217 with Mrs.
Yeah,
Wilson.
me too. Yep.
Yes, she sounds the best to me.
Right?
I think it'd be cool to stay in the king room. I want to know what happened to Jim Carrey that he never wants to talk about it.
Right? I would love to do that. I would love to just take a tour of the hotel itself.
I like that you don't have to be a guest to do the tours.
Yes.
Right?
That's a good thing too.
So if you're just like driving through for the day, you could stop and catch a tour.
I wonder how expensive it is. Just the cost, not necessarily just how expensive. I wonder, considering that there is a minimum of how many nights you can stay in that one particular room, I'm wondering if it costs just a little bit more to stay there than it would like any other regular room.
Right. So I tried to see what the prices were, and it wouldn't show me prices until I confirmed my dates.
Wow.
So my guess is it's probably pretty expensive.
Well, yeah, maybe so.
I feel like that was
but I can understand
some tricky trickster stuff there.
Yeah, no, but I can see why. I can see why it would be, considering it pulls a lot of people and lots of famous people have been there as well.
Yeah.
So
So I don't know, like I just looked it up,
Mhm.
the tour itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if this is correct to date, but it's saying the standard price is $23 per person, 17 for children 17 and under, and a hotel guest would be 21 per person. So if you wanted to do the tour, you still have to pay for it even though you're a hotel guest.
Oh,
Wow.
I guess it's not an all-inclusive package,
I guess not.
but the rates are not bad. I think the rates are pretty good.
No, I don't think the tour prices are
Not
bad.
bad. Mhm.
No. So
Mhm.
I would totally love to do that.
So would I.
I am curious how much a room would cost.
That is what I'm really curious about as well.
If anybody has ever stayed at the Stanley, drop us a comment or an email and let us know.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
curious.
And
And
if you
tell us your
experienced anything,
experiences.
yes, Carla.
Sorry.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, whatever experiences you had. Yes.
My bad.
No.
I'm just over here like, how much is it going to cost me? And you guys are like, what did you see?
Exactly. Okay, guys. So we watched Annabelle Creation.
You
And-
did.
Oh my goodness.
What
It,
were your
it was
thoughts on
scary.
Okay, let's just say like that was actually a lot scarier than I thought it was going to be.
that? Yes.
I agree.
Second, well, suited. I agree too.
I actually like last night when I closed my light, I like ran to my bed and I jumped. I didn't even go near the edge. I just jumped it.
Oh my gosh, funny. I think I
wow.
fell asleep immediately after. I had no problem last night, surprisingly.
I ended up watching like YouTube ghost movie things.
To try to help.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I don't
if
know
you
what I
might
was
have to-
thinking. I was just like, oh, ghost videos that will scare you. Let's watch this.
Just what's that? So what were your thoughts, Z, on the movie on the whole?
I love how the Annabelle movies are all tied together. I was not expecting the ending at all. The movie was super intense. And I don't know if it felt scarier because of all the children or what, but I thought that this was one of the more scarier movies in the Conjuring universe that we've watched so far. I loved the suspense of not knowing what happened to Mrs. Mullins until the end. And I figured that the accident would have been like a fire similar to what happened with the popcorn in the first Annabelle movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a shocker. I thought the movie's acting was more on in this one than in the last. The emotions didn't feel as stunted to me.
I agree.
And I'm definitely excited to see what the next movie reveals.
Yes, that will be like Origins, right? Annabelle Origins?
Yes, I believe.
Yes, I'm excited to see that too. And that's exactly how I felt, see. I feel like it was really way more scarier than any of the other Conjuring movies on the whole that we've seen. And what I think is more so is how it played on children just being children and getting into trouble, except it's not the type of trouble that anyone wants or expected. And I did hope that the nun, who was the kids' caretaker, would have had more interactions with the demon, but I understand the focus was more on the children themselves. And in the end, she did her part, but I would have liked to see like a battle of good versus evil kind of thing going on.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
Yes. And I couldn't believe that you just rode off into the proverbial sunset and left the possessed girl. I forget her name.
Janice,
right. And they just left her out there to wander the wilds of the countryside alone. I can't imagine the havoc she must have wreaked before what happened at the end happened. That's for those persons who have not seen the movie. However, you know what? It all came together in the end, and it made a very satisfying tie between the first movie and the second. So I think watching it not in chronological order is definitely the best way to go.
Yeah. I totally agree.
I like that we're watching it by release date.
Yes.
Yeah, no, this movie was hella scary.
Very much so.
Like, and I don't know if it's because like it wasn't all about the doll itself in this one.
I think that really lent to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. The presence of the doll was there,
Yeah.
but it was more of a possession movie and having the possessed act out on the demon's demands. And I think who the possessed is also very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
She played her part so good.
Oh my god.
All of those kids did amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, they really did. I did like when those mean girls got their comeuppance and how they were afraid when that happened in the bedroom. Oh, that was too funny.
That was it actually made me jump. I was at the edge of my seat with this one.
I was anticipating something happening at every turn.
Yeah.
At every single turn, I was basically like you said, at the edge of my seat waiting for something to happen. And it always happened when I didn't expect it to happen.
Yes. I kept jumping and Luna kept like getting angry at me and leaving.
Definitely. So, would you recommend Annabelle Creation to all our fans out there?
Oh yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
I definitely would as well. 100%.
Yes.
I'm still waiting for us to come across a Conjuring universe movie that we're just like, on.
Right?
It hasn't happened yet.
No, it hasn't happened yet.
I've heard maybe The Nun might not be one of the very best ones, but I think for me it's because I've read up on it, and from what I've read, it doesn't sound as exciting, but the storyline is an interesting one. I don't know. Well, it has to be a case where I have to see it for me to say, okay, fine. But it doesn't grip me like what the others have so far. I mean, the storyline.
Is there 2 in The Nun?
I'm not sure. I think it's just one.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just one, but I'm really curious. I mean, I want to see the movie itself, just for me to have an idea of how the nun itself, because she's pops up in like all the movies, hasn't she?
Yes.
She has popped up in all of the movies.
Yeah, so I need to know like what her tie-in is with the whole Conjuring thing.
Yeah.
Because the story I read, I don't think that it made relation to Annabelle or anything like that, but it's a good one.
Yeah. Well, it was shocking when she did pop up with this one.
Yeah.
So that was a little shocking.
Yes, it's like a what you call those things that's hidden in things?
An Easter egg.
An Easter egg, yes, that's what it was. And I think you have to pay attention to like all the different movies for you to catch something from a previous one or something that will tie it into the next one for you to be like, okay, well, that's where that happened and something's definitely going on with this, you know?
Yeah.
Yes,
good.
definitely.
I totally agree.
It's good how it came out. So I want to thank all of you for joining us on this week's episode of the Stanley Hotel. And if you have a paranormal story you want to share, feel free to drop us an email at blackcatcrossingzabs, that's capital ZABS, @gmail.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms to keep up with the latest. On Instagram at Black Cat Crossing Podcast, on Twitter at Black Cat Crossy 2, and on Facebook at Black Cat Crossing Podcast. You can also check out our website, www.blackcatcrossing.co. We'll see you next time.
In the unknown.
Actually, I thought that was good.
Yes.
Until Z started laughing.
Well, my in was so exaggerated. I'm like, in
And I held off on mine to try and match it.